Hello, my friends. Jerry Rosa here in the Rosa String Works Man Cave. Got on my blue shirt today because I know I look good in blue. So there you go. Let's see. It was a busy weekend and a frustrating weekend. There were, like on Saturday, I got things accomplished, but it seemed like I had to work 10 times harder at every single thing I did to get anything to work. I couldn't even get gravity to work for me Saturday. Gravity just refused to work. It was unbelievable. However, somebody suggested that I listen to the Caballo Diablo by Charlie Daniels. I did listen to that. It's a nice tune. Doesn't really fit me very well. It's not something I could do, but it was I guess a tie-in to my song, which is Phantom 614. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if anything will come from it, if there'll be any other inspiration to write any other song. I did have a little bit of an inspiration for writing a song this morning. I started something, but I'm not going to go into it yet. It might turn into a song, might not. I hope it works. Did you see that Itchy Boots made it to Pakistan? Took her 3 days to get her motorcycle out of, I guess, the import thing there. I don't know what you call that thing, customs or whatever. Took it. Was quite a job apparently to get her motorcycle back so she could continue on her journey. I think she's going all the way to Japan, I think, is where I think she's supposed to end up. China or something. I don't know. She's headed up to northern Pakistan, and I didn't realize that the northern border of Pakistan actually borders China, which of course, China is huge. In other news, let's see, the 2 auction guitars are still up for grabs. One of them does have the minimum bid met, which was just $100. The other one does not. I think they're both pretty decent guitars for $100, so, there's that. It's not making me feel real good that I've got like 40 instruments to auction off, and the first 2 just aren't doing anything. I don't know. I don't know if it's worth putting the rest of them out there or not. But I don't know what else to do with them because she doesn't want them, or she wants me to get rid of them. So I don't know how to get rid of them. In other news still, the Martin birds, my birds that I always love to have here on the farm, they're gone. So I lowered the Martin houses down this morning. I need to take them all off the post and take them indoors. I haven't done that yet. And then I would like to build yet one more pole, or at least put up another dozen houses for next year would be really nice. So I'd have up like, I think 36 houses. But I don't know if I'll do that or not. Probably will. Hopefully I will. My utility room project that I've been working on is on hold, briefly probably. I didn't get to touch that over the weekend. I thought I'd finish that up, but I didn't. I doubt I'll get to it this afternoon because I really need to do paperwork this afternoon and get caught up on what I should have been doing all last month. It's just a mess. It's hard. It's just really tough being me. The Pond Dam project, it's basically finished. Sue finished that, so I didn't get any video of the actual final grading or anything, but she did get that finally graded. I probably will still put a video out on that eventually here when I get 10 minutes. Another project reared its ugly head over the weekend. My friends, soon you will believe me when I say it never stops. I've already dismantled this, but I'll show you what the problem is. This mower, first of all, Sue thought the crisis was that it broke the belt. Well, that's bad. The belt needs to be fixed.
Also, this bar had extended itself by accident, and when you picked the mower up, it was picking it up vertically instead of flat, horizontal like this. It was picking it up like this, which is not good for the PTO, but also the gearbox is what I noticed. We've cleaned it already, but you know, you got to imagine it was dusty and dirty, and there was grease all over the whole back of the thing. So to me, that indicates that their seals on the gearbox have failed. So I've got that up at the shop here. I've already taken, as you can see, I've already taken the gearbox off of it. And it just, did you ever hear it's not easy being me? So now I've got the gearbox in the shop. Oh, I didn't mention the fact that now, you know, I just fixed the rear tire on this tractor. Well, look at the front tire. You know, isn't that nice? Isn't that pretty? It just, isn't it wonderful? Just, does it ever stop? No, it never does. Just drive them until the wheels falls off. That's all we do around here. Nobody checks nothing. Nobody looks at anything. It's just drive them until they fall apart. So this is leaking profuse. I've already cleaned it up. I should have shown you before I cleaned it up. Solid oil all around this whole thing. In fact, that whole thing was so coated in oil, I couldn't stand it. So I scraped all the worst of it off, and then I washed it in my parts washer and cleaned it up. Yeah, it's a mess. So now I got to figure out a way to get this out of here. I have a feeling it's one of these, well, I don't know what you call that kind of wrench now, a spud wrench or something. That ain't quite the right name, but it's some kind of wrench like this where 2 pins fit in there. Look at that. I thought that was going to unscrew it, but I don't think that's going to unscrew it. That's turning the whole shaft. Surely that's not going to unscrew it, is it? Or does the shaft spin within that? It looks like it's coming out, sort of, kind of. Probably not. Oh, well, I'll have to figure that out. I don't know how I'm going to get, you know, this apart where I can fix these seals. But I'll figure it out. If I figure it out, I'll show you. Well, I think I might have figured it out. I just held onto the hub with my hand and hit this with a punch, and it's unscrewing without turning the shaft. So I got lucky again, maybe. Not lucky that it's broke, but lucky that it's coming apart. Yep, it's coming apart for sure. I don't have a wrench that would fit that. There you go. Now it's nice and loose. It's screwed down around the shaft. The center shaft is what it's screwing down around, but I'm sure there must be O-rings or something around this. Yeah, it was screwing down around the center shaft. That's what I figured it was doing. And there's bearings in there. And this looks like a seal right here, and it's definitely wore out. The seal looks like it was going around this right here, and you can see how it's shiny right around there. And of course, it doesn't look like it's going to pop out of there real easy. Why would it? I can see the seal itself is wore. The rubber is wore bad, I can tell. So it's got to come out.
And yes, I did get the seal out, and yes, I did go to town to try to find a seal, and no one had one. So I ordered a couple of seals online through Amazon. I could not find, well, first of all, I couldn't even find a model number on that finish mower. It's not a brush hog. You know, people might think that that's what it is. It fits on the back of a tractor, you know, and it's a pull type deal, but it's a finish mower rather than a brush hog. So it's more like for cutting grass than it is for cutting big tall weeds, though it will, you know, cut some pretty stout weeds too. What we generally do is use it to cut things that are not quite in the yard, like Sue cuts maybe big areas out in the field, like a longer fence and stuff, where she keeps it mowed like like grass, but she doesn't want to use her regular lawnmower on it, so she uses that. And anyway, it's in need of significant repair, and I think I've got all the repairs done except for the new seal in it now. I did make a video of all this, and I hopefully will get a video put together for that for you to see, but that involved straightening out a bunch of bends in the housing. It involved sharpening the blades. I'm going to show you again how I do that. And there was, I don't know, 2 or 3 other things. I can't remember what they all were now, but that I repaired on it. Kept me pretty busy, but I got all that caught up. I did find a new belt for it in town, so I do have that ready to go. As soon as the seals get here, I'll be able to put it back together. In addition, I did a little shop improvement project over the weekend, which should have only taken a couple hours. Took a whole day because I did this on Saturday and not one single thing went right all day long. But here's the end result of it anyway, so you don't have to go through all the frustration. Well, in addition to that big project there that turned out to be much bigger than it should have been, here was my shop improvement project for the weekend. I bought this new cabinet, put it up. I had to move all this other stuff over. It was spread out all over the place. And I like this arrangement better. I actually like it all better on one side there anyway. It doesn't look as symmetrical, but it's better to just have it all in one place. Got all this stuff sorted again. Got a lot of miscellaneous small stuff down there. This is just dedicated to tire repair. That's all it is. It's all my tire repair stuff. And I haven't gone through the rest of the shop. I'm sure I'll find more stuff to put in here. But that's what I have in there for the moment. So, and it's already collecting dust. Isn't that nice? A black cabinet. I should have known better. But anyway, that's that project completed. Once the parts come in for that, I'll get that completed. Then hopefully I can clean up the rest of the shop. I did get to use my parts washer for the first time on the mower project because there was a lot of greasy stuff. That thing works really good. And have we seen this before? Yeah, a stabilizer bar that got bent again. In all the years I drove a tractor for my dad, I never once had a bar like that come off and get bent. And I would say Sue's had that happen at least a half dozen to a dozen times, somewhere in there. I've driven the same tractor, it's this Ferguson out here, with the same attachment for hours and hours and hours. I've never had that happen. But pretty much every time she gets on it, that stabilizer bar comes off. I do not understand how that happens. I can't imagine. So I told her, forget it. We're not putting the stabilizer bar back on it. Drive it without it. It just isn't worth it. Doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result just doesn't make any sense. And that is the truth. It's just nuts how that... Yeah, and I know most of you are going to chime in and say, well, that pin's pulling out. Well, sure, I know the pin's pulling out. But how and why? I've cut brush taller than my head while I'm sitting on the dang mower, and I've never had one of those pins come out. She's lost so many of those clip pins, I couldn't even begin to tell you how many. I think in all the years I ever drove a tractor, I don't think I ever lost a single one of those clip pins, ever. Not one single time. And she's probably lost 6 of those things. It's just nuts. It's just nuts. I don't get it. It makes no sense to me. Those are the kinds of things that just don't register in my brain. I just don't see how it happens, but it does. It's just, I can't even explain it. It's just crazy. Just crazy. One more reason why I say it's just not easy being me. On my shop improvement project, I was planning to use a new product that was sent to me by Sigmund. It's one of those laser levels. Now, I already have one of those sent by another company. But I was going to use the Sigmund laser level to see how well it worked and all that, and I could not make friends with that doggone thing. I turned it on, and it didn't look level to begin with, so I put it in the self-leveling mode, and when I would check it with my regular 4-foot level, it was off by 1/8 of an inch. I turned my 4-foot level around end to end, which is what you do to check to make sure your level is level. It's still off the same way by 1/8 of an inch. So my 4-foot level is accurate, and the Sigmund laser level is off by 1/8 of an inch in 4 feet. I could tell it was off just by looking at it. It just didn't look right. So I didn't get to use that. And that was part of my frustration. I monkeyed with that probably for over an hour on Saturday. And I'm sure it was over an hour, and just never could make friends with the doggone thing. So I finally just gave up with that. Decided to just go ahead and do my shop improvement project without it. And then, there was a wire that, like a regular electric outlet wire that was exposed on that wall. And it came down and across and went over to the outlet. Well, I didn't like the look of that, number one. Plus, with moving those cabinets around, I really needed to get that wire buried in the wall. Well, so I drilled a hole up high to fish the wire down through the wall. I bet I tried for another hour probably, trying to get that doggone wire to go straight down through. And I thought, there's got to be something across there. So I drop a string with a weight on it, drops straight on through, no problem at all. I tried to poke that wire down through there. It would not go for nothing. It just would not go. I'd back it up, and I'd just be very careful, try to bounce it up and down, and it just wouldn't go. Would not go. So I took it back out, tried the string and the weight. It went right down straight through. So, of course, I tried to take the string and pull it. It wouldn't do that either. Couldn't get it to go down through there. Well, actually, I tried to pull it from the bottom up because the string was down through the hole. So I hooked on the wire and tried to pull it up. Couldn't get that to happen. So I don't know. It was so frustrating. It was hard to explain. So finally, I did it the other way around. I got the string down through the hole, and then I cut the string at the top, which I didn't really want to do because I don't like to cut my string off because then your string's shorter, So anyway, I cut it off and tied it onto the wire, and I pulled the wire down, pulled it down through, it went through. But I bet I spent an hour just doing that. I think mostly because I was just aggravated. Why can't I get gravity to work for me? I mean, it just should work. There was nothing in the way. It just wouldn't do that. I don't know why. It just wouldn't. I don't know. There's things like that just defy description to me that just will not work for me. They'll work for anybody else. I guarantee you, any one of you could have come and would have said, "Oh, all you gotta do is just do this," and just poke it. It would have went right straight down through there for you, but not for me. It's just nuts. Ronald Todd says, Eddie Turner was the first one in there, and Joe Nigan's up there, but I'm looking for the question marks. Ronald Todd says, good afternoon, Jerry and everyone from the West Banks of New Jersey. Cup of Cool says, howdy all. I've been awful bored, so I kind of hope old Jerry goes on a good rant for us. Well, I've already kind of ranted about the way just Saturday just didn't. It just was nuts. I mean, like nothing worked Saturday. It was hard to explain. I don't even think a hammer would drive a nail on Saturday. It just wouldn't do it. Bill Webb says, good afternoon, Jerry and friends. Let's see. Dottie's praying for us, and I appreciate it, Dottie. I really do. I could assure you, as a matter of fact, I even think I thought of that on Saturday. I wish Dottie was here to praying for this because this ain't working. Nothing was working. I'm not kidding you. Nothing was working. It's just hard to explain. David Thorpe says, howdy, everyone. Finally made it. Had to commit some aviation this morning. Wow. Cool. Yeah, I think if I people think back on their life and they think, well, do I regret anything? Well, I think in terms of things, the only thing I regret is I didn't get a pilot's license and I didn't, learn to fly and stuff. I know I would have loved it. Even though I am actually afraid of heights. I'm really afraid of heights a lot. But I'm not afraid to fly. I've flown many times and I really wish I would have become a pilot. I think personally I think it's too late. I mean, people say, "Oh, it's never too late." I'm in good health. I've got, good vision and all that. So I think I could still do it, but I don't know. I think it's a little late in life. Plus, it takes a lot of money to be a decent pilot. So I don't think I'm financially able to do it either. David Tharp says, I went to the antique auction yesterday. 3 people bid on me. Well, you have to keep moving or that'll happen if you sit down. Especially at our age, they'll think you're an antique and they'll start bidding on you. Let's see. Scott Roberts, Bill Webb, I sent you the email. Yeah, I know these guys that were talking in the comments there, so I'll let them discuss their thing. And then after we went live, Dottie, Bill, how's the bracelet doing for you from Jerry? I bet it didn't fit him, probably. Cause I completely forgot that I had to take out 3 links of it just to get it to. It was still a loose fit on me. I should have taken out 4 links. Like I said, I got the biggest stinking hands, longest fingers you'll ever see. Double X gloves barely work, even they don't go all the way down. But my wrists are like little girl wrists. I mean, they're tiny by comparison. Just tiny. It's just the weird. I'm a genetic defect. David Tharp, I got an email explaining how to read maps backwards. It was spam. I get it. Okay, let's see. Bo Horn says, hey, Jerry and gang, beautiful day here in Ruston, Louisiana. Well, that's good. It was fairly nice over the weekend. I didn't get to see much of it because I was stuck working indoors on those projects. But it was fairly nice. I did try to go out metal detecting last evening. I waited till the sun was down about 7 o'clock or so. I was only out for about 45 minutes. And I'm telling you, it was just like everything was working against me. The metal detector was working fine. That was not a problem. But the grass was too tall. The horse flies were going bonkers. You can't hardly relax when these things are buzzing around you and they're trying to land on your back and you're sweating already. And when they land on it, they bite you and they hurt, man. So that, and then the ground was harder than a brick. Even that good shovel that I'm always talking about, how you can stick it in the ground pretty good, it was tough. I could dig it with that, but it was hard digging even with that shovel. And there was something else too. I forget what the other thing was. That it just was not fun. So I only spent about 30 or 40 minutes out there and finally came back. I found at least a dozen or maybe more things during that time, but they were all junk. Nothing was any good. There was several things that were non-ferrous, but they were just like little pieces of copper, little pieces of brass or something, and never found anything that was identifiable. Lots of nails, square nails too. It's funny how nails, especially if they're bent like in like a U or almost a circle, they'll show up and they look like a good signal, and you think, so you can't pass that up. You have to dig those when you see that, but then it turns out they're nails, and it happens a lot. Let's see, moving on down. Um, David Thorpe. I read this one during one of those videos, and I got to be honest, for me, this is a tongue twister. I know it's a religious quote, but it's hard for me to read this kind of thing. It says, "And this is the record, that God hath given to us eternal life, and this life is in his Son. He that hath the Son hath life, and he that hath not the Son of God hath not life." Well, I agree with all that, but boy, it's difficult for me to read that. Lynette Landry is there. Let's see, no question marks though. She says he was 102. Wow, that's a long life. Scott Roberts talking to Bill again. Let's see, and it scrolled on me. I saw. Make sure that I don't miss anybody here because it scrolled pretty far. I don't know where it went. Golly. Okay, I think I see where we were. Going down, looking for the question marks. Peter's there. I was thinking about you this morning, Peter. I was wondering, I haven't heard from you for a little while, and I just wonder if everything's going okay. Hope everything is. He says, being back for more than a month now, I like to thank you again for the great week at your farm. I'll keep you and Sue in my heart for the rest of my life. Well, Peter, we loved having you. And by the way, if you're ever out here again, be sure to stop in. If I ever get up that direction, I'll sure look you up. But I don't know if I'll ever get up that direction. I've gotten so sour on the whole travel thing. I don't know. To me, I like my farm. I don't know. There's plenty to do here. Keeps me busy, keeps me occupied. I don't need much more than that. I'm kind of a simple guy. G&P Old Marine Shop. Hello, Jerry. Do you do road trips for shop organization? How much do you charge? Ha. Well, not planning on it. No, I really prefer to just stay right here. And Peter says, USA great, but nothing without you and Sue. Oh, well, that's nice. Thank you so much. I hope you liked your travels out west. I mean, like Las Vegas and Yellow. I can't think of that. It's just, why words just leave me like that? Yellowstone. I could see the yellow, but I couldn't say the rest of it. I don't know why I'm like that. It's just nuts. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed all that because it's neat. I absolutely loved Yellowstone. I just thought that was the most awesome place. You just drive a quarter mile and everything changes. It's just amazing how out there it's just so bizarre. It's like 10, 12 different worlds all jammed into one little compact area. G&P Old Marine Shop. They say some women can be hard on a man and 10 times harder on his tractors. Boy, that's the truth. That is the truth. David Tharp. I can't believe I forgot to go to the gym today. That makes 20 years in a row. I'm right there with you on that one, Dave. That's one thing I've never done was go to a gym for anything. I mean, other than when you go to gym class in high school. I used to enjoy that. I used to go to the gym class. I used to like to climb the pegboard. That, you take those pegs in your hand and climb the pegboard, and then you go up and you go across, and then you go down, and then you go back up and you go back. I could do that really well. I was good at the pegboard. I could also climb the rope all the way to the top, just using my hands. I didn't use my feet at all because once you can do the pegboard, you can pretty much do the same thing on the rope. Cup of Cool, thank you for ranting. Makes my day, buddy. Well, somebody's got to do it. I'm sure each one of you out there could probably go on a rant on something, but I've got the microphone, so there you go. Let's see. Mike Saba says, Jerry wanted to see you put that tractor tire back on the tractor. I've got a video about that, and I did film that. And I'll, again, I got so much video in the can. And if things would just quit breaking for 30 minutes, I'd get added a video. I'm not kidding you. I've never seen such a run of how many things have broken over the last couple of 3 or 4 weeks. It's just been crazy. And if something doesn't break for a second, Sue's grabbed me. I need for you to do this, like the laundry room project. You know, it's just nuts. Ronald Todd, anything new to report on JR situation and relationship? Not meant to pry. Well, on his eye thing, it's not going so well, honestly. They didn't get it all out. I thought they did. Sue thought they did, but they didn't. They didn't get it all out, and it's causing him trouble. And he's going to have to go back, apparently, for more surgery. I tell you, I know that that kind of surgery's got to be very touch and go, but you'd think they would have somehow got it all. I don't know, but apparently not. And apparently he's going to have to go back for more surgery. That is not good. That's terrible. Gino Hitch, hi Jerry and friends. Almost missed the show. I was mowing grass. Well, that's one thing you can't do here. For 2 reasons. Number one, the mowers are broke. No, actually, the lawnmower is working fine again. But the finish mower is not working at the moment. But that's just one reason why you can't, is because the machines are broke. The other reason is Sue wouldn't let you. She wants to do it. David Tharp, I thought the trampoline was your favorite. In terms of, I don't know how we got back to the trampoline thing. I mean, I know what you're talking about, but I'm not sure how that tied into something else that happened today, apparently. Right straight through. Didn't get it. Let's see. Moving on down. There was another story, though. I was going to try to remember to tell you guys. This isn't the story I was... There's a story about me I wanted to tell you, and I forgot what it is right now. But somebody asked the other day about my father, and I remembered a couple more things about him after we had hung up. One of them was... I'll just go ahead and tell you that. This is not the story I was going to tell you, but anyway, this is just extra. I told you my dad was on his own from the time he was 12 years old. And that's true. He lived by himself somehow or another. I don't know how he did it, but he did it. And he had a goat and a cart, and that was one way he made money. He would apparently haul things for people around town in Eminence, like maybe groceries and stuff. He'd go to the store, pick up something, or go someplace, pick up something, and haul it back on his goat cart. So that was his first little thing he had. But he also, then, when he was just a year or two older, somehow or another, he got an old pickup truck. I guess he was working at that gas station, and I guess somehow or another, he ended up either getting enough money to buy an old pickup truck or something. And then he of course, he wasn't technically old enough to drive on the road, but he started his own taxi service in the town of Eminence for different people. And he would drive them around in town. And so he was always pretty resourceful from a very young age. One thing he would say was he was never unemployed a single day in his life. And, he always worked for himself. So in that regard, you could understand that. But then on the other hand, he pretty much always worked too. He wasn't laying around, he was always doing something. That's the same way with me. Don't get me wrong. Every once in a while, there'll be a day where I just don't do much of anything, but it's a rare day, Most every day I'm out doing something. But like I said, I still can't keep up with Sue. Let's see. Moving on down. Scott Roberts says, Jerry, if you work hard enough, you don't need to go to the gym. I also loved the pegboard in high school. Yeah, I always did like doing that. That was a lot of fun. Scott Roberts, Jerry, start a redneck spa. It's a wood yard where people pay you to split the wood by hand. A great workout. Win-win. But that's, now you're cooking now. Now you're talking about my kind of work. There you go. My kind of gym. Let's see. David Thorpe, the gym class. Oh, I got you. Yeah, the trampoline, yeah, he forced me to jump on that. I didn't, yeah, that was not good. That was not good at all. That ruined my whole archery career for sure. I honestly do think, well, I don't know that I would have made it to the Olympics, but I was on the edge for sure. I mean, there was a good chance. I would say out of 10 chances, I would say I was at least 5 there for sure to get to the Olympics. I might have been a little higher than that, but I kind of think I would have made it eventually. Let's see. Scott Roberts, get those thumbs up, people. Yeah, if you would, please, I would appreciate that. Still trying to think of my other story I was going to tell you. Can't think of it right now. Can't try to remember if it was about horses or if it was about something else. I was trying to think if it was about Phantom, but I can't think of it if it is right now. Something will happen and I'll remember it again. Should have wrote it down. Bo says, prayer warriors, please pray for my son-in-law, Tommy, fighting cancer. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that, Bo. That's so terrible. Starting heavy chemotherapy tomorrow. Oh, that's just terrible. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. That's just horrible to have to go through. Sue went through the chemotherapy. Well, I think she only took one treatment, maybe 2. I think it was just one. And she was so allergic to it that it almost killed her. I have never seen anybody that sick in my whole life that lived. She was so sick that I thought for sure she would die that night. It was unbelievable. It was terrible. And let's see, Don Nice. Jerry, your blue and black shirt is awesome. Well, thank you. Thank you. You know, you've seen the words on this one already. It says, I might be colorblind, but I know I look good in blue. For the people that are new, I know most of you have seen it. Guys, I guess that's going to be it. I'll don't forget that there's that auction going on if you're interested in a guitar. The one that doesn't have any bids on it at all is a really good sounding guitar. It really is. I'm not just saying that. That sucker sounds good. If it doesn't sell, I'm going to make her an offer myself, and I'm going to probably put it up there in the old rental retreat, because just to have a guitar up there for, people to play or something, it'll probably get busted in the first week. It's probably a dumb idea, but I might put it up there anyway. Peter Lobeck, yeah, I was thinking about you, Peter, because I've been wearing your hat, and I as a matter of fact, this morning I thought, man, I need to clean that up. So I took a dry rag and wiped it off as best I could, like a dry cleaning thing, to try to clean it up, because I had gotten it kind of dirty, but it cleaned up pretty good. So it must be made pretty well. So moin back to you. Moin, I'll probably screw this up, but moin is more or less a way in North Germany that they say good morning, moin. And Peter says if they say moin, moin, then they're talking too much. Anyway, good to see you again there, Peter. And everybody else, y'all have a great day. I will see you tomorrow with something else. Dottie says, if I buy one of those guitars, can you donate it to somebody? Well, sure, I could do that. I mean, do whatever you would like to do. But honestly, that the guitar that has the what I would call a Fender peg head that's acoustic, you'd have to look pretty far to find one that sounds any better than that guitar for the price. Holy mackerel, it sounds good. Sue heard it too. She heard me playing it in here, and she goes, wow, I thought that thing sounded really good too. It does. It has a really good sound. I'm not just saying it because it's in an auction. I'm just telling you, if you were looking for an economical guitar that really has a good sound, there you go. That's a good one. Sidecar Bob says, I'd bet that guitar would look good hanging in your man cave. Well, I don't need anything else hanging up in here. But anyway, guys, we will see you tomorrow with something else, and hopefully I'll remember that story I wanted to tell you. Doggone it. We'll see you then.